Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of DX's Godzilla Corner, and today we're going to be covering the Hiya Toys Exquisite Basics series Shimo figure. I'm just going to go out and say I think this is the best Hiya Toys figure we have released today. I don't have the stylist, so that might beat it, but the stylist does not look like as good as this when it comes to detail. And I also think that the Shimo figure beats the Spyro Studios, the Playmates, and the SH Monsters. I just had to rethink of all the brands, but I think this figure looks incredible, and I just want to really get into it because this review does not need to be longer than it needs to be. I talk too much, so let's just get into this incredibly detailed figure, because I think the one word I needed to say once I saw this figure out of the box was, oh my god, that's a lot of detail. Like, there's so many scales and so many crevices on this figure. How is this figure only $60? I didn't buy it for $60. I got it from Exquisite Toys, so I had to pay like $100 for it. But there was no shipping costs or taxes with it, and tariffs were non-existent when it comes to this figure. I think they might have made their prices go up a little bit because of the tariffs. When it came to this figure, I didn't see too much of a difference. But anyway, let's just get into the head sculpt, honestly. The head looks straight out of the movie. It looks ripped right out of the movie, and it looks incredible. When it comes to the snout, it looks good. This nice, like, round right here. The mouth does look good. I always thought that her mouth opened, like, really weirdly, especially in the figures here. Let's get her tongue down. Oh, okay, guess it's up there. I have the tongue back down. I gotta make sure not to do that again before I lose the tongue forever. Her mouth does look really nice. I don't know, the teeth look good from this side. Some of them look like a little bit splotchy. In the front and the bottom jaw, they look good. Up top, they look pretty good too. There's some on this side that don't look as good, especially that one tooth right there. You can see it's a little bit splotchy, but it does look really nice. But, like, it makes up for it with the eye paint. That eye is incredibly crystal clear. It's insane how clear that figure is. The spikes on the head look really nice. They run from, like, this dark blue color into this light blue. Looks super, super nice. Something I really like is that they didn't actually put black paint when it comes to the nose. They put the same color that's on the rest of the figure, and I think that's awesome. The spikes going down the neck look nice. They look a little bit strange when you prime apart like this, because then they're separate. But, I mean, when they're together, it looks perfect. I actually got to look at Shimo again. I don't know how many spikes run down her neck, but this looks like maybe too small amount. Maybe there needs to be more. I don't really remember. But they do look really nice. I also do like these little rivets of giant scales going down the neck. They have it here on the belly, too, on the side. Looks incredible. I mean, like, seriously, look at how much detail went into this figure. And all the different colors that goes down the body. It's insane. Let's just get into the main attraction right away. The giant crystals on her back. Now, her crystals on her back are insanely detailed and arranged just like out of the movie. They look crazy. I don't really think they look as good as maybe. I think maybe the SH Monsters has better looking when it comes to color. They do look better because in the movie they're like a purple into a blue, but they don't look as clear. So I think a clear plastic might have been better, maybe. Because I feel like the Spyro Studios kind of nailed the crystals when it comes to that. So they look still really nice, but I think, like, you see this texture here where they have, like, this scuff paint? I feel like if they did that on more of the spikes, it would look better, but alas, here we are. You can actually see kind of this blue color coming off of the crystals here. It's so hard not to call them dorsal plates. Off the crystals here, and it does look nice, especially on top. You can see the joint there moves in between them, and I think that's awesome. Going down to the waist, they just all come into a little bit here of crystals, and then they go into the line going down the tail. But they look really nice. Let's just get into her big-ass arms, because she definitely lifts super good, because her giant shoulders, like, look how beefy her freaking shoulders are. Like, oh my god. They are massive. And her forearms are also very nice. One thing I like about Shimo is that, like, her plates are much different than any other kaiju in the Monsterverse. They're laid out more naturally, and I feel like it makes her look more smooth than the edgy-looking Godzilla. Because she has these giant plates of scales here going down her body and her arms, and they just look super smooth and shiny, and I think this figure just makes them look great, because in the movie, she isn't just pale white. Of course, she's a white color, but she also has, like, this kind of pinkish tone to everything. It depends how the light's hitting her, but I think she looks great when it comes to this. So her arms, massive, like, you can just see how massive her freaking forearms are. But when it comes down to, like, her bicep, her forearm, and then her hand here, you can see her nails are painted very nicely. On this side, there's a couple chipped ones, especially down here on the, you can see the one right there. Two of these are chipped here. I think that paint could probably be better, but they look fine. This one here, I can't tell if that's on purpose or what. It looks like a little bit of, like, scuff that looks, like, detailed, but I don't know, maybe it's just a big scuff. But they do look really nice. They're painted pretty well besides the scuffs. They are actually articulated, so we'll get into those then. Underneath the hands, or arms, or legs, or whatever you want to call these hands, I got nice folds here that shows in between the fingers and stuff, and that just looks amazing. Going under her stomach, this just shows just these giant plates of scales. It looks like armor. It looks awesome. It's like a mix between a crocodile, some it reminds me a lot of Smaug from the Hobbit series. I don't know why, but like these giant plates remind me a lot of that design. But as you can see, like these goes like giant clear plates into these tiny little details here. It's actually insane. Down to her legs, they got the same thing. These actually remind me of Godzilla Ultima, because his legs are like these rivets that go down the body like that, just like these couple here. But you can actually see, I do like that they actually come apart here. You can see the detail there. That's super nice. But her legs are chunky up top and a little bit skinnier down here, coming into her feet. She has one less digit when it comes to... Nope, she actually does have 5. Or do you count that as a dew claw? I don't know. But she does have 4 toes here, and I guess a dew claw, or maybe they're 5 toes. I can't really tell. They don't look as, like, splayed out as the front feet, so I guess not. But they do look nice. They're not posable toes, but there are multiple sections of articulation all down the leg. When it comes to the tail, we have these nice line of spikes going down, spikes, crystals, you know what I'm trying to say. And here we have, just like here on the top of the body, we have these giant spikes of like scales, I guess you want to say. And it's on both sides, and that looks really nice. Like going down like that into, I don't know what you want to call these. They're like, because Godzilla has the thagamizers on the end of its tail. Do you want to call these like crystal thagamizers, crystal spikes, whatever? They look nice. Again, a complaint kind of with all the spikes on the figure that I think they need to be more clear, but I would rather them have the paint like this and like you can actually see the color than what SH Monster Arts did, which was just like a cheap see-through plastic. So I'll take that over SH any other day, but like really, this figure is incredible, and it's a lot bigger than you would actually imagine. I don't know how big she actually is in the movie because, I don't know, it's weird. It says she's 400 feet, but there's no way in the movie she is, because when she's compared to Kong in some shots, she's a lot smaller. So it's kind of hard to tell. Here's her with a normal Hiya Toys Godzilla. And, excuse me, you can just see the difference how, I mean, I don't know. It's really hard. I've talked to people in the comments of some of my videos about this. I really cannot tell for the life of me if this is accurate or not. Because if we're taking the 400 to scale, then she should be up to here. She should be like this tall. And I feel like that looks a little bit more accurate, but I don't know, because this isn't Evolved Godzilla. We have not seen a big chunker Godzilla next to her. And in most shots, I don't think Evolved Godzilla is ever standing up like super straight in the movie. He's always more of like a hunched posture, more like kind of like 98. So I feel like maybe that's why everybody makes her out to be so big. Because Evolved is skinnier and it's a little bit more bent over than the normal Godzilla design. But it's kind of hard to tell. I'm going to show some pictures then earlier at the end, you know, with the poses. That should hopefully see the sizes to be okay. It's hard. It's hard to tell, guys. It really is. But anyway, I think the only really place we can go from here is into the articulation. And she is, holy shit, she is plenty. So, getting into her mouth, she obviously has a hinge at the mouth, and the tongue can go up and down. I'm just going to try not to lose that tongue again. So the tongue can go up and down. You can push all the way to the bottom and all the way up top. And it's just a hinge joint at the top. And then on the neck, you have 2 ball joints. You got one there and one there. And that allows her to look about that far to the side. You can get a little bit more on that side. Maybe I'm just doing something wrong. So you can go about that far to the side. And then looking up, she can look about that far up, really not that far up, and then about that far down. Not that much far down either. I think they should probably work on her neck articulation, but it is what it is. It looks pretty seamless. When it comes to her beefy shoulders, they are just on, I think they're on hinge joints, because either hinge joints or ball joints, it's really hard to tell, but they can go all the way around as much as you want, and then there's a swivel there when it comes to the bicep. You got a double hinged elbow joint, and then down here, along with a swivel there at the elbow, you have the wrist, which if I can try and get it to move, you can see there it has a swivel. And then at the hand, you also have a swivel. And it's also on a hinge joint, so they can go all the way down like that. And they can go up as much far as that. And of course, with this new figure, she has articulated fingers or toes or whatever you want to call these, which is very nice, especially when you get her standing up on 2 feet. You can make her toes and fingers curl a little bit, so I think that's really nice. When it comes to her waist, she can go up about that far and down about that far. It's kind of a double jointed. They have one here in the middle and then one here at the end. So she can look up about that far with the waist and down about that far. There's a little bit of turn, but nothing to really go home about. Like, it's not too much, but it's not enough turn side to side. Like, there's barely anything. And I think that's mainly because of the crystals here. But, I mean, it works out. When it comes to the thighs, again, it's just your normal leg where it's a ball joint. You can go whichever way you want. Here at the knee, I think there's a swivel. Maybe there isn't. I can't get a swivel out of it. But it is a double hinged knee here. And then here at the leg, there's a swivel. And then a swivel at the ankle. Maybe. I think there is. No? Seeing this live, guys, I cannot tell if there's a swivel here. But you do have a little joint here to kind of show the articulation of the foot. It's a hinge joint on both sides, so you can make it go down as far as you want and make it go up as far as you want. And it can go turn, so you can make her pivot if you want to. So I think that's really nice. I do like her leg design. You can really tell that Hiya is stepping up their articulation when it comes to their legs. And her tail obviously isn't as posable as Godzilla's or the SH Monster at Shimo, but it is very posable. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ball joints, I believe. So you can get some pretty good poses. Nothing super good, though. I think they can only go up about that far. They can go down pretty far. But the side to side, it kind of stops like right there when it comes to articulation. So it's all right. You can get it looking natural if you make it go kind of in different ways. But, I mean, this figure's incredible, man. It's crazy. I don't have too much when it comes to words to say about her because it's kind of hard because I've never had a Shimo figure. So when it comes to like her posability, I don't know what I should expect from her because she's just so damn big that I don't know what really poses to get her in. It's a new process for me because I just got it like last night. But I do think the figure is really good. Her head is just amazing, along with her arms, legs, and everything. You know what? Just everything's amazing. I'm going to stop lingering on about that because she's just a really good figure. But I don't know. There's not much really to say about her besides that. She's just super detailed, super shiny. I have no problems with her besides maybe these could be more translucent. But besides that, she looks amazing. Her mouth is kind of weird because I feel like in the movie, her little membrane here on the side of her mouth isn't as large as that. And I feel like she can maybe open her mouth. I feel like she can open her mouth a lot wider than that. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I feel like her mouth should open a lot wider. But maybe that's just a weird angle, or when it comes to the articulation, something they could not get around. But she is really, really good when it comes to articulation. The tail and the neck, I think, could be improved a lot. And the waist, I don't really know what you can do with it besides multiple segments, and I don't really want that to mess up the crystals on her back, so I'm not going to complain. But what I am going to do before I move on to the pictures, and I'm going to get her on her bipedal mode on 2 legs. So let's do this live. So take the tail down. You can put her legs down as much as you can. Kind of make them flat like that. And then we're going to stand her up kind of like this. We're going to make her head go down as far as you can. Make her arms go down. Her giant beefy shoulders. Kind of make her hands splayed out a little bit. Don't fall over, please. Maybe. And there we are. Very, very big. And to grab a Godzilla figure to go with her, you can just see how massive she is. She is gigantic. There's no way that Godzilla can beat this girl. No, I would stand against that. This is probably one of the biggest Hiya figures in the selection. Obviously, Ghidorah kind of beats her, but she is just ginormous. I really feel like the tail articulation and the neck articulation could make this pose a lot better because the tail, as it is, it's kind of just, that's as far down as you can really get it bent up. So you can't get her standing more straight because then you run out of tail room. And when it comes to the neck, that's as far as she can look down. So that kind of sucks a little bit. I can see if I can mess with her to get her look down a little bit more, but like, if I don't collapse her legs, but like that's where the, as you can see, it's as much as you're going to get out of her. So that's as far as she can look down. And then her hands here. You can bend her elbows, make her arms look out, and you can bend her hands more like this to make her look like she's more of a natural pose than have her hands splaying out like that. But yeah, she just looks incredible in this pose, and I cannot wait to pose her more in this kind of displayed bipedal mode. She looks great, but you can really just see how much more of an upper body build she has than most figures. But so starting off size comparisons with Shimo, we have Rodan, we have Mothra. Fuck you, Mothra. We have the Skullcrawler number 10. We have the female Muto. We have Godzilla 2014. We have the GVK Kong. We have the GVK Godzilla. We have Energized Godzilla. Here we got Burning Godzilla. Got another one, bitches. And we have the Hiya Toys King Ghidorah with the Hiya Toys Shimo. She looks a lot smaller than I thought she would be, honestly. But I guess that just really shows just how massive Ghidorah is. You know what? I can't stand for this. I'm standing Shimo up. And here we have Ghidorah next to standing Shimo. And oh my god, this is amazing. I need to take a picture of this. This is awesome. They look so good together. It's insane. I love how their colors contrast like this. Shimo is truly massive. I stand corrected for body shaming her before. She is truly a fucking beast.